What's up, guys? It's Nerd Night Perspectives. I have Jonathan and David here. We're all going to talk about Krampus, the modern horror classic. Does anyone like this movie? I like this movie.
I love this movie.
It was okay.
All right. Well, Krampus, the mixed results receiving Christmas movie. I'm pretty decent fan of it. And let's talk about like when you do watch this movie, how would you get into it, dude? How would you like what kind of headspace would you get into, Jonathan, to like really want to watch this movie?
Well, it was definitely a lot more Christmas than Krampus.
Christmas Krampus. Okay.
In a lot of ways. So definitely getting that Christmas mindset. I found the whole thing to be a surprisingly wholesome horror movie, as far as these kind of movies go.
I can see the wholesomeness in there. David, you got anything? Dave, you got anything?
It was definitely a wholesome movie compared to like I don't know, like it's wholesome compared to other scary Christmas movies. Because other scary Christmas movies put out a bunch of blood and a bunch of like violence and sometimes sex.
Yeah, this is a pretty bloodless. This is a bloodless horror movie.
Very PG-13.
Very PG-13.
But like, if you know the director, it's not surprising.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, the director actually being the same director as Trick or Treat. So
yeah,
I guess if you're a fan of Trick or Treat, you probably would enjoy this movie.
I am. I am a big fan of Trick or Treat.
I am too. I really liked the creature designs and stuff like that, and just kind of like there's like a little bit of like a whimsy to his horror.
Yes,
it's fun. It's kind of funny. It's not all out meant to scare you as much as
I think the premise is meant to scare you, less of the scenes you're seeing. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
That's fair.
Like, I wouldn't want to be put in that situation. You know what I mean?
I would agree with you. I'd agree with you. So
same.
The director actually got inspired. Like, so talking about like the production of this movie, the director Michael Dougherty was actually like inspired to make this movie from a Christmas card, like an e-card that he got from some friends, like with Krampus in it. Because he said he always wanted to do a Christmas horror movie, but when he got this e-card, it's just like I don't even know what an e-card is. That's like some old internet shit. But
yeah,
but he said it was love at first sight, and he immediately came up with the idea for making a Krampus movie because that e-card had Krampus in it. Krampus being oh, go ahead, Jonathan. Sorry.
Well, I was going to just say I don't want to get too far ahead because on inspirations and stuff, but it was written everywhere that this was heavily inspired from Gremlins.
Oh yeah.
This movie. Oh yeah, the creatures, the sounds of them giggling, like especially the gingerbread men and stuff.
A lot of giggling.
And the PG-13 horror movie, because Gremlins is what basically made the idea of a PG-13 rating, even though it was never rated that.
Well, it was like Gremlins was also one of the only Christmas horror movies I can really think of, other than like Black Christmas. But like it's an actual funny kind of fun movie where Krampus kind of prioritizes the fun of it like Gremlins does. So I could see that as an inspiration.
Yeah.
it's sort of a family romp.
Okay.
Like you can kind of watch it with like your entire family, like mom, dad, and then you maybe a little bit older, and then maybe a younger brother, and it's not too like terrifying.
Yeah, it's not too scary. I want to get into this later, but some more of the inspirations of the movie. But you know,
yeah, I didn't want to go too much into it, but it's just so obvious to me. You know, I just had to bring it up.
No.
We're talking about the horror Christmas comedy PG-13 stuff.
I'd say, and just going off of like the way the cast worked out, one of the inspirations that I can think of is the National Lampoon's Christmas Vacation. Because Howard is cousin Eddie, right? Like
exactly, Shitter's full.
Shitter's full. That's exactly what I was thinking too. I do see. Obviously, this is. It has that same kind of vibe as Trick or Treat. With
Yes.
the creatures and the horror of it being more in service to comedy rather than straight up horror, where you're feeling tension and fright the whole time. It's like you're meant to have fun with this movie.
Yes.
Yeah.
I think also, obviously, from the name, it's inspired from German folklore Krampus.
Yep.
Krampusnacht. People generally call him evil Santa Claus, but he's kind of, I don't know, he's kind of like some kind of like demon creature who just whips you and takes kids, right? Like,
Yeah, there was a line in the movie.
The whipping might be
Go on.
fun, but
the whipping might be fun. Dave might like that too much.
that's why I'm into the movie.
At one point in the movie, I think the grandma or someone refers to Krampus as the shadow of Santa Claus. And I kind of really like that kind of, like an anti Santa Claus,
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, here to take, not to give.
Exactly, the dark side of Santa.
So let's talk about the cast that they have for this movie, because like we got the family in place here is the Angle family, and we have Sarah Sarah, who's played by Toni Collette, who's kind of become like lately like a horror movie royalty for her the part she played in Hereditary. Of course,
God.
Movie, the Fright Night remake, the Sixth Sense. She played in a lot of different kind of like horror-esque movies. She's played in a lot of things. She's also in Little Miss Sunshine as well, but she was incredible. Dave, you sound like you wanted to say something about
Just Hereditary is just one of the scariest movies I've ever watched. I watched it in theaters. Yeah, I was there on a date, and it was me and the date in the theater by ourselves, and it was one of the scariest movies we ever watched.
Oh, it's
we ended up sitting there at an Olive Garden afterwards, just like staring at the food, just like traumatized.
That's interesting. Yeah, I've never even heard of Hereditary before.
Oh my God, give it a chance, man. It's really good.
Makes me look at anthills a different way. I'll tell you that much.
100%. 100%.
That was a really good movie, though. But
yeah, that was outstanding.
She's earned so much clout in the horror community for her role in that movie, and well earned.
She was
a great actress.
She was in Knives Out as well.
She was in Knives Out. Which I love that movie, dude. I love Knives Out.
Yeah, it's mystery movie.
And hot take here, I don't know why everyone shits on this movie, but I loved the remake of Fright Night. I don't know why people shit on that movie. I love that movie. You also got Tom Engel, who's played by Adam Scott. He was in Parks and Recreation, probably where most people are going to know him from.
Yeah.
But he's also in Hot Tub Time Machine 2 and Piranha 3D. I mean, you guys seen Piranha? Any of you guys seen Piranha?
No, I did not.
I've seen Hot Tub Time Machine.
I have seen that, yes.
That's pretty good. Yeah.
Yeah.
Hot Tub Time Machine.
I guess he was in Step Brothers, but I don't remember. Oh yeah, he was the douchebag. He was what's his bucket's actual brother in Step Brothers. Derek, I think.
Yeah.
Yes.
All right. We also had another more of the recognizable characters or recognizable actors was Howard's character by David Koechner. He was Champ in Anchorman, and he was in the Scouts Guide to the Zombie Apocalypse. You guys have all seen him somewhere, and he plays roughly the same character. Always a pretty good laugh, though.
Yeah, he's not a bad comedic actor.
I think he's funny. He's fucking silly. I loved him in Scouts Guide to the Zombie Apocalypse. He's
teach you to mess with Scout Leader Rogers.
I don't know if you guys seen that one, but that one is a gem.
Are you guys talking about David Koechner?
Yeah, David Koechner.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah. Fucking Anchorman.
Yeah, fucking.
Yeah, he's an Anchorman.
He's champ in
And
there.
1 and 2. 1 and 2.
Yeah. The chicken of the cave.
Chicken of the cave.
So we had actually this is like a weird one that is listed on the IMDb, but Seth Green and Justin Roiland both played gingerbread men in this movie.
I did not pick up on that.
I did not, dude. They were.
Me neither.
I couldn't even tell with their voices that was them. You could definitely tell it was like put through some kind of like a synthesizer or something like that to make their voices super high pitched. Didn't see it. I would have loved to catch that my second watch through.
Apparently, the 3 gingerbread names were Lumpy, Dumpy, and Clumpy.
Yep, Lumpy, Dumpy, and Clumpy. Lumpy and Clumpy were Justin Roiland and Seth Green.
Yep.
Much like their acting.
Yeah. And the third one was by someone called Bren Burns. I don't fucking know.
I don't recognize him so much, but
yeah, they don't even have a picture of him on IMDb.
I don't know. All right, so Jonathan, you want to give us like a basic like play-by-play of what happened in this movie?
Well, real quick, that boy,
okay, go ahead.
It's played by MJ Anthony.
MJ Anthony.
He's the main kid, and he's in the movie Chef.
Oh my God, he
plays Percy, and I'm looking on IMDb right now. Apparently, he plays the voice of the young wolf in the Jungle Book movie from 2016, as well as something called Bad Moms, which I've never seen that. So
I've never seen it. I've actually always wanted to see Bad Moms, but it's like a date night movie, but I've never seen it. Whatever. But no, I didn't know he was in Chef. I totally spaced him in Chef. I really love Jon Favreau in that movie, so I guess.
Oh yeah.
Pay attention.
No, that's fair. They had a good soundtrack in that movie too.
So, what did you guys think of the cast of the crew of this movie?
I think it was pretty well. I think like if you're gonna have someone like you have Toni Collette in there, you've already got me pretty interested in terms of like the horror, which they didn't fully capitalize on. She's still a great actress. She's incredible. But you got a lot of comedic actors in there that I think really landed for me. One of the more underrated characters for me, one of the funniest characters for me was Aunt Beth. I thought she was fucking hilarious.
Oh yeah. Don't tell your parents.
Yeah.
Giving the kids alcohol.
I know. She felt kind of real, but like she's super fun character.
Aunt Dorothy.
Aunt Dorothy.
That played by Conchata Farrell. I don't even know if I'm pronouncing that right, but we're talking about like having a comedy cast, and that also goes to Kochner, like we were talking about.
Mm-hmm.
It's just a big funny family, that probably laughs through their problems.
Or at least kind of like it didn't seem like they were like at least the men weren't super confrontational about their problems with each other. It seemed like the women were a little bit more upfront. Like when they got like to talking to each other, they're like,
remember that your Aunt Sarah likes everything to be clean and perfect, and that's why she makes so much food that you can't pronounce.
Well, I just thought you guys might like a break from macaroni and cheese with hot dogs.
Yeah, okay.
Well, you were wrong. Well, how about we go to your trailer for Christmas next year, And after you spent weeks decorating and cooking and cleaning, I might just waddle in and start bitching and moaning about everything you've worked so hard on.
Right.
I did think like in a lot of I think you're meant to like relate more to the main family. I still liked all of them, all of the characters. They were fun in their own rights, but all of them had their own unique thing that had kind of going on for them. Especially like with the family dynamic of the twins, like they were definitely raised up to be like boys.
Yeah.
I think they're pretty fun. Anyway, sorry, Jonathan, want to give us a play-by-play? Give us what goes down in this movie.
Well, we see the family, we see their issues. The boy, I think I don't want to focus too much on it, but I think it's so important of this movie is when he gets his little list to Santa, his little wish list to Santa, read out loud at the dinner table.
Right, but that shit was kind of wholesome in a way too. Like,
yes, it was, but it was also
embarrassing,
condemning. It was embarrassing. It was condemning. It also highlighted all the problems with the family. It pretty much called everyone out on their bullshit. And it was just the core of what led to him finally just like losing it, losing his hope, his spirit, and all these things. And because of that, that's when we end up seeing Krampus coming in. Now Krampus, in lore, beats people with rods and sticks, sometimes eats them, and sometimes drags them to hell. And so it's just this kind of like old thing. I want to say even Christmas, like Santa, is like kind of a German thing too.
Yeah.
And so it kind of makes sense with Krampus kind of coming in there as well. What are you gonna say?
Oh, I was just agreeing with you. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, anywho, freaking Krampus basically starts taking people one by one. We get these snowmen showing up, and more of them keep showing up as more and more people disappear. And everyone seems to. No one knows what's going on except for the grandma. And it's spelt the whole time, and we always see this trope of like, the wisdom, of a life already lived. But he basically has to learn. We've come to find out that he learns the same thing that his grandma had to learn so many years ago when she was just a little girl. Going through a similar thing of spite, really just hate. And this can go into tropes of letting the devil into your heart or something like that. But it's definitely goes against the thing of Christmas, and that's what the whole movie plays the whole time is.
I think
is that
more than hate is just a lack of gratitude.
Well, the spirit is gone. They highlight that in the very first episode. I mean, the very first scene with the whole Black Friday. This loss. It's not about giving anymore. It's about taking. Right. It's about corporate clout. It's about all kinds of crap, buying affection and consumerism. And I mean, I think there was even a scene where like there's the photo of them with Santa, and Santa's like checking out like the little girl's ass and shit, and it just shows that everyone's like evil and that. And the spirit really is gone. You know what I mean? It's kind of almost, hellish in itself. And Krampus is, I don't know, hard to say. He leaves. I think what's interesting about him is that he leaves. He doesn't take you in this version. Normally Krampus would take the kids. He takes everyone but the kids and leaves them to suffer with that.
Well, he takes a few kids. He takes quite a few kids.
He definitely he doesn't take the one that lost the hope.
That's what I mean to say. Is that the one that initially, you could say almost brought forth Krampus is actually the one that's kind of not spared, not in the sense of mercy, but but in the opposite, in the sense of suffering.
Yeah,
living with those things, and that's why. And sometimes that might be what it takes for people to be reminded of it. That's what happened to the grandma,
Yeah, you almost wonder which would be worse, being taken to the underworld now, or kind of living with the guilt that your whole family was taken away and you got to live on. It's a survival's guilt kind of thing.
Exactly.
Oh well.
But I don't know. It's it's got a lot of Christmas spirit throughout.
That's it.
But there's that sort of twist at the ending.
Oh yeah, the twist at the ending. Oh my god. I kind of
with the bell or what?
Yeah. I want to save that for like one of my favorite parts of the movie, actually.
Yeah. Okay, yeah, we can save that for that.
Me too.
Okay.
But if you guys have any more inspirations you guys want to talk about, Jonathan, you want to?
Do you want to go through inspirations?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. Yeah, well, I mean,
There's quite a lot of them. The dude being frozen and that delivery dude being frozen could remind me of The Shining. A little bit.
The Shining.
Just a little bit.
Like a little bit like maybe think a little bit like Scrooged, but I could see The Shining.
Yeah, no, you're right. The fucking
I like all
Jack
the
in the
Christmas
Box.
tropes.
Yes, they did. Like I said, I felt like it was more Christmas than Krampus. There was a lot of Christmas spirit in this movie.
There was.
Well, let's hear, David. What do you say about those Christmas tropes they brought in?
Well, like just grandma keeping the fireplace going all night, and keeping the house warm, and the idea of the kid burning the note in the fireplace, or was meaning to, and then he ripped it apart and threw it in there, right? The tree and the food that they make is all very tropish.
Yeah.
A lot of the stuff that I really liked. It not only the Christmas tropes of like family coming together over the stresses of Christmas, that generally, like, if you kind of look at this instead of it being a horror movie, of just, man, sometimes Christmas is a horror movie. Like, you got people that don't like being around each other sometimes, all coming together for one day of celebration.
I can see that.
Sometimes that can be a fucking nightmare. Right. Well, and that's just it. Sometimes it's kind of funny because there's also that kind of that split of hating it, but also like liking it, because those differences are what basically that's that spirit that ends up bringing Krampus in the first places, rather than loving and appreciating and all that stuff of what you have, even if your cousins are fucking bullies and
yeah,
right, or whatever, that there's still good things in there to appreciate and love and enjoy, and that's what we see in the ending of it.
Yeah, that's definitely what I got from the ending.
We'll talk about the ending.
I will talk about the some inspirations. Obviously, I felt like you get Sam from Trick or Treat movie. I feel like that was like you see a lot of that inspiration that the director brought into a lot of these creature designs.
Oh, definitely.
Especially with the snowmen, the toys. It just.
Well, I believe that every monster was like actual, like either a puppet or something like that, other than the gingerbread men.
Yeah. It wasn't entirely CGI, which is really appreciated.
Yeah.
I think too was a lot of the anti-horror tropes, like where there are some dumb parts in this movie that I do want to bring up, but like for the most part, they never split up the crew, and they generally stick together. They aren't entirely stupid, but there is like a moment where they do something kind of stupid. But I'll talk about that later.
There was that girl going to her boyfriend's house, walking in a snowstorm.
That is. I will give that the pass because it was before anything really creepy happened.
But also, as like someone with kids wouldn't want their kid just go over to your boyfriend's house. Yeah. It's there's 1.5 miles of snow.
They did kind of rationalize it because they immediately said no, and then they were like, well, he could find out if he has power and whatnot. Maybe that could help them all out. I could see it happening, but they did let it go on. She was only supposed to be gone for an hour. But
they probably should have sent to like an adult with them.
They should have. Yeah. In hindsight, though,
I think they would have just driven her over there at the very least. Not her walk through the blizzard.
Yeah. He'd have driven her I would prefer to be driven over there, even if it was fucking 2 blocks away, dude. I don't want to freeze my.
See, the movie should have been in California, where none of them know how to deal with snow.
Right. Oh, true that. Yeah, they would.
Back to the creatures. we're talking about everything being physical. That Jack in the Box, or I guess Jack out of the box, fucking he was animatronic. And they remind me of It, obviously.
Yeah, that kind of clown look to him.
Just creepy clowns, kind of old school looking
thing too.
That was probably what really did it. Yeah.
Yeah, and the drool.
The drool.
Yeah.
Very, very wet, very slimy toy.
Visceral.
Right. The angel doll thing kind of reminded me of Bride of Chucky a little bit.
Yeah.
But I think that's because wedding dresses are kind of supposed to be like an angelic kind of, but by design,
For me, it reminded me a lot of
cherub.
American McGee's Alice in Wonderland. There's like a whole level where they have a lot of like dolls and like just creepy, nasty dolls. That I don't know what it is, but those creepy dolls do have like for me, it's become like aesthetically pleasing, but they are very creepy. I like how creepy they are, though. I think that's
really also probably one of the creepiest things.
It reminded me of Warhammer 40K because they have things called cherubs in it.
Oh, really?
Like and they are aborted babies that are turned into robots.
I should never
think of Dante's Inferno.
Oh my God, the video game
comedy. Yeah, or the Divine Comedy, or any of that stuff.
Like the video game, yeah. I mean, friggin', because I remember in the game they had like a bunch of little fucking little babies
coming out of, I want to say, Medusa's nipples.
I don't.
Well, as long as they're not coming out of my nipples, that's what I meant.
Yeah, that'd be a fucking nightmare, wouldn't it, dude?
Bad times.
Let's talk about our favorite parts. What did we like about this movie, guys? What did you like about this movie? I'll tell you.
I like the two guys like coming together, like this sort of all American sort of like right wing type of guy, gun toting, coming together with this, what he would consider a pansy, this left wing sort of, city slicker. And I mean, at the end of the movie, the city slicker's rocking around with a shotgun, blasting holes in the ground.
Yeah, he fucking really kind of comes around into his own, I like that they did have where they respected each other. Yeah, he said, I'm just starting to like you, so let me go,
I like that both of the fathers are competent. They're not like, they both have their like strengths.
Yeah, one's an Eagle Scout.
You see so often in like movies nowadays and TV where dads are portrayed as like stupid and dumb and useless, and these fathers were not that at all. They were very squared away.
Like, they had their moments where they failed at things, but like they weren't treated like they were dopey and stupid. And
no, not at all.
To fathers in their role,
Right.
I see what you're saying, because a lot of movies do that where they take the dads and they just go, well, let's just disrespect the fuck out of them, out of fatherhood.
Right.
And then but they definitely gave a lot to like the mothers too, dude. The mothers were fucking pretty fucking fire too. Like, actually, I think it was the mother of the other kids, Linda, was just, she went to town. She took out a lot of those like fucked up little toys, saved a couple of the others. A lot of them all had their moments to shine, and I liked that. Except for the daughter, dude. She definitely got shafted. The daughter
just died underneath the truck.
Yeah, dude, she was gone early in the film, and I was like, damn, that's kind of fucked. Like, she did not get much screen time at all.
No.
I will say,
they just sent her out there to die.
Aunt Beth, though, she was my favorite, dude. She was fucking awesome. She was funny as hell. And a lot of the comedy worked for me. So I guess I gotta preface that. A lot of the comedy worked for me, and I laughed a lot during this movie, even some of the really silly parts.
Yes. It was a fun movie. It was a fun movie.
It was a fun movie. It was fun, dude. And that's what I think was like really the appeal of this movie, is that it was fun. You got light horror elements.
Light horror, yeah.
And you got
kind of an anti-Christmas too, a little bit.
Yeah. It still reinforces the message of Christmas.
It does.
And,
it does.
Not in the way that you're expecting. And I really liked that beginning intro to the movie, where it's like beginning to look a lot like Christmas, and it's like everyone's charging in trying to get them Black Friday deals or whatever kind of sales going on. I loved that because it shows
like Christmas spirit is like at an all-time low.
Absolutely, man. It's not about giving, it's about buying. It's about consuming.
Yeah.
You know.
Well, and it highlights that our greed makes us all kind of deserving of the wrath of Krampus.
Well, did you see what the grandmas? And so in the like claymation style.
Oh,
I like that animated.
I loved it. I thought it was outstanding. So in that claymation style, what were the people fighting over? Bread.
Dude, bread's not even that cool, man. Dude, you fucking want Turbo Man, or do you want?
Well, if you looked up where they were, they're in like her family, like she's technically like a Bulgarian or something like that, which is on the wrong side of the Berlin Wall.
Of the Berlin Wall.
It's on the east of the Berlin Wall, man. So they were fighting over bread.
This communist state, and that makes sense. And she was German speaking herself, and that goes back to the whole Krampus thing again.
Yeah,
her having roots in kind of the core of Krampus.
Yeah, I do.
But I really did like that. Sorry, I just want to say that I really like that animated scene, just because I just like in general when shows and whatnot play. Play with animation and styles and mediums.
Yeah, dude. No, I 100% liked that, and that was one of my favorite scenes, is that animated part. And even like the detail that they went with the animation, like you saw the pupils kind of like dilating or changing. That was really cool.
Terrifying.
And I loved that they had like a German speaking characters in there, because I think German as a language gets a lot of flack for being like, you always sound angry and whatnot. German is a very beautiful sounding language, I think, personally. Listening to some German music,
when they're not yelling at you, yeah.
When they're not yelling, they don't raise their volume.
But I mean, I think I feel the same about like Arabic. Like Arabic is a very pretty language when it's sung or spoken at a normal term.
I have feelings like that in regards to Russian.
Russian?
Yeah. Russian, honestly, man, like they have to be real dainty for it to be like sound good in Russian. I'm not gonna lie, they gotta be a real dainty person.
Pretty good jams, but more of the stuff that we like. I liked that they had this like magic storm.
That storm.
I feel. Even if I'm a little critical of this movie, I feel like next time I'm stuck in a big fucking almost magic cartoony fucking blizzard, which happens from fucking time to time, I'm gonna think Krampus is around. Krampus is out to get somebody, and I'm caught in the middle of it.
Oh yeah.
I don't know. I don't know. Maybe I'm overplaying it, but the idea of a magic blizzard was just kind of, I don't know. I just kind of really liked that.
I really liked, this is something kind of silly, but like it was a dumb thing that I wrote down in my notes, but like when Aunt Beth and Howard they get yanked out of the freaking house, they play this silly sound effect, and it was a pretty like intense kind of moment, but like I laughed. I thought that shit was hilarious. It was like the banana peel sound that you hear like cartoon characters slipping on a banana, and that's what played as soon as they got yanked out the window.
I must have missed that. They did get yeeted though, for sure. Right after they took the baby. They had
basically Go ahead. I'm sorry.
No, please.
I was gonna say, like, basically any scene with the babies was just sending me into like full fight or flight mode.
Right?
I'm like, Jesus Christ! Somebody come get this freaking baby.
Krampus is like, I got it. Say no more, fam.
He was like, I got you, bro.
The whole killer Christmas toys things reminded me a lot of Nightmare Before Christmas.
Nightmare Before Christmas, Gremlins, things like that.
Yeah. I mean, it's hard. I'm going to bring up the ending a little bit. I liked the whole passing the bell down.
Dude.
You know him. And obviously the whole bell thing is practically a full rip off of Polar Express. Like 100, they just took Polar Express but made it like a dark shadow. Rather than a reminder of the hope of Christmas, it's like a reminder of the fear to keep you in check.
Yeah, you got Santa's Gestapo coming in.
Yeah.
By the way, Santa's Gestapo, they look pretty cool.
They look pretty cool. Yeah, it's like
in there.
Yeah, really.
His I looked it up. Like apparently, like supposedly, according to the writer, the elves are like Krampus's guys were supposed to be Santa's elves that rebelled and left.
Oh. You know, and that kind of goes with, because I mean, Krampus is kind of, you know, similar to Pan, which is obviously like the base inspiration for a lot of the ideas of Satan
and Panic. Well, Pan is Greek, right, for panic.
Yeah.
Well, yeah.
They have that. They have that very like pagan-esque goat man look.
Well, and like the word for a group of demons is pandemonium.
Pandemonium.
I actually did not know that.
Someone else's, panic.
Well, and like, didn't Lucifer take like angels with him?
Well,
when he left Lucifer heaven, was an angel. I mean,
okay. I mean, though, but like, when Lucifer was becoming Satan, didn't some angels join him? Like, leave?
Yeah. There were ones.
They're bitches.
I'm just saying that's kind of what they're doing with the elves here. You know,
real punk ass angels. You know,
little motherfuckers.
Right.
Another one of my favorite scenes, and this is at the end of the movie, and it's where they're all together. It's like it kind of plays like everything was a dream, but then the kid pulls out the bell, and the way Toni Collette's face just goes to just, oh my god.
What the fuck? That was real.
Yeah, everyone kind of just gets quiet. It was a great scene. And then they zoom out, and the snow globes are all just collections of Krampus's conquests.
Question.
That ending was so cool.
Real quick, really cool. Would the kid be better off living with his family in the globe or living a real life?
So I wonder the same thing, because
I'm going.
You think Omi may have lived a good life. Had kids and had a family and loved them and stuff like that.
I mean, Grandma did that. That's what Grandma did.
But that survivor's guilt's got to eat at you, you know? I mean, you got to figure that ought to be pretty terrible to know that you lived through all that and your family's gone forever.
Well, who's to say that Grandma having the bell wasn't just the calling card for, like, she doomed her whole family. It's a curse, actually. It's just a cursed item.
Yeah, maybe that's what brought. Yeah, that's a good point. Maybe that's what brought Krampus in to begin with. You know,
was the bell.
That's a really good point. It's a really good point.
Well, no, I do really love the ending. I thought the ending was outstanding. And it kind of like, you know, in a weird way, it makes me think of any of the times I've had like food with my family. Is everybody's arguing until their mouths are full and they're eating. And everybody shuts up, and then everybody quickly realizes that they're around the people they don't want to be around.
I actually did have a slight question about that ending. So it kind of blew my mind, the whole snow globe thing, but are they okay, so they're trapped in the snow globe, whatever, but is that like, is everyone trapped in snow globes in every house, or is it just the ones that Krampus visits?
I think it's just the ones they visit.
Yeah, I think that maybe like, are you talking about like the whole block? You know, like 'cause
No, it's like, okay, well, they zoomed out and there was more and more and more snow globes. Are we all
yeah.
in a fucking, like, our own individual, like a snow globe for every house? Or,
no,
like.
I think it's just the ones that Krampus tears the fuck up and decides to
Well-
take and imprison. I think that's what I'm.
Are they stuck in, like, another, like, dimension of happiness? Or are they, like.
Yeah, very.
I guess I'm
Twilight Zone.
confused what's real and what's not because of that ending.
I'd say it's hell.
Well, I'd say it's like a purgatory almost.
Yeah. All right. Fair enough. Purgatory makes more sense.
Yeah.
It's not horrible torture, but it is the same.
You're just stuck there.
I know.
Well,
Love that ending.
do you guys want to get into the critique?
All right.
Yes.
So Jonathan wants to get into the critiques, Mister. I don't like this film.
I don't hate it. I think I might have had too high of expectations for it.
Okay. Okay.
Well, and
You know what I mean?
Despite me liking this film, I do have some critiques over it as well.
Yeah. I do as well. Jonathan, you want to start us off, dude?
Yeah, the intro felt very. Aside from the awesome Black Friday thing, the intro felt a little slow.
Oh, slow for you.
Getting into the characters, getting the tropes. A lot of it just felt like, just like leisure. I almost forgot it was a horror movie for a minute.
I guess it depends if you like vibe with that comedy or not. I did personally, but I could see it wasn't.
Well, on that same note, it felt like either like nothing was happening or everything was happening all at once. Especially in regards to all the creatures, I felt like there was no consistency in that.
Especially at the end, it was kind of just everything was going on all at once. All the elves had to come in, the toys were all fucking things up. It was just like balls to the walls.
I dislike that
one after another, real quick.
I dislike that the adults never asked any questions about these presents. Like they talked to the delivery driver, like, "Oh, who sent these?" and then never opened them up. I would have immediately taken those presents into my room as an adult and opened them up and found out what the fuck was in them.
Right? Yeah, no, they didn't check nothing.
Yeah, I might have, like, if it didn't have any like who sent it, I'll be like a little confused.
Yeah, the humor was alright. The humor was alright, but I felt like it didn't hit for me the same way it was hitting for you guys.
Mm-hmm.
I think that as far as a horror movie goes, the part that scared me the most was imagining myself in the situation and thinking of my kids. You know what I mean? Like, oh my god, dude, like something's gonna happen to them.
Yeah, because like a lot of the people that go early on are all the kids, dude. The kids.
They're all the kids, man.
It's fuck
the
them kids,
yeah.
dude.
It's fuck them kids. 100%.
Oh, yeah.
And that would be like the worst. Like my teenage daughter is out there somewhere, and I'm not able to help her. I gotta go help her. Yeah. So I totally understand. Like the I don't know. I just wish that the parents asked more. Like, but that is kind of the horror trope, Somebody has to be stupid.
Yeah,
And
it's kind of all of the parents.
Well, ironically, even though like Uncle Howard or whatever he was, even though he was kind of playing a more redneck character, he was the only one that was even making any fucking sense. Saying that the grandma sounds fucking crazy, and I'm gonna go out with my shotgun and find my fucking kids. Like,
yeah, man.
He was the only one making sense.
And I mean, if it hadn't been for the West or like the East Coaster, like the liberal guy, he would have died there in the snow. He would have been eaten.
Yeah, it's like there was some logic there.
I do really like the dynamic of these social classes kind of coming together.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
100%.
But it definitely drove me nuts how unattentive the parents were to their kids.
They definitely when the aunt was like watching the baby, and then she set the baby down to grab the shotgun, and then the elves came in, and then I was like, "Oh my god, somebody grab the fucking baby, dude! Somebody grab the fucking
Someone
baby.
Grab that baby." And Krampus was like, "I've got you."
Yeah.
Say no more, fam.
That was frustrating, but I will say, like, overall, I do gotta agree with you. It was nice seeing left and right working together. You know, like Democrat, Republican kind of characters working together. I really loved that.
That's what like family and especially family gatherings like holidays, are kind of all about is people of all kinds of ideologies coming together. Sometimes because of blood and all these other things. The roof scene when you first see Krampus, where she's like running and Krampus is jumping from roof to roof like a really loud Spider-Man.
Yes.
Freaking! It was hilarious. I was laughing at that, and I don't think I was supposed to.
You're allowed to.
I don't know. It felt goofy. I think the goofiest fucking thing. I know it was supposed to be funny, but it was just we were talking about like people being overly dumb in these tropes. I felt like they did that when there was like that huge crash of Krampus on their roof, and they're just like,
"Oh my god, it was squirrels."
It was so dumb.
I'm gonna beat you up.
It's really squirrels.
It was just so dumb.
Well, like one of them was.
The women are like, "Oh, it's squirrels. We have a second story, and then an attic above that, and it's fucking squirrels."
Well, I think it was kind of like a cognitive dissonance thing of like, well, let's be rational, right?
Right.
If it's not squirrels, what the fuck is it? You know, like.
I expect the people around me to be like, okay, we're on high alert.
The angel doll, I did not think was like scary looking at all. Kind of dumb.
The cherub.
Yeah, I thought she was kind of dumb.
I don't think it was in frame long enough.
I liked that one more. I actually liked that one. The teddy bear and the robot didn't scare me. It wasn't really scary.
Yeah, dude, I didn't even I barely remember that robot. Like, it felt like he just kind of came up out of nowhere and stabbed that dude in the back. I'm just like, okay, but how long has this robot been here? I think I missed that.
Really, I think that after the first couple animatronics, I kind of was desensitized to it.
Yeah, I'd agree. Yeah. The Jack in the Box, the monster though, was
that one takes the cake.
Box.
They should have saved that. They should have saved that to the end.
Yeah,
good.
Because there was more monsters after that, and they just were not nearly as scary.
Yeah. When Krampus first drops that Jack in the Box under the truck, and then they did that cutscene away, I kind of felt like that was a little cheap. Rather than showing us, it's just like, she screams and the truck shakes a little bit, and just assume.
I can understand why the filmmakers would have done that, because, like, if you're watching the movie, you're like, dude, she's gone, but you're having the characters out looking for her anyway.
PG-13.
You're like,
yeah,
this is a PG-13 movie.
True that.
Like, it's not. Yes, it would have been way cooler to have seen it, but I understood it as far as the pacing and the whole vibe of the movie. Like, they didn't show. Yeah, it would have been pretty jarring at that point.
Like, it would have made sense for the parents to go look for him, but you would have been kind of frustrated the whole time that they were looking for her, and you knew that she was already gone,
Right.
That's fair. Yeah. That's fair. The snow was like so fucking fake. That's just me being a fucking nitpicky little bit. That was so fucking fake though, dog.
I like how the snowman look.
Dude, the snowman scene honestly was one of my favorite scenes. Like when they really show you, like, because you keep seeing the snowman appear and you're just like, what? And then
they finally,
what?
Calvin and Hobbes.
Calvin and Hobbes?
Yeah, Calvin and Hobbes,
book?
like the comic book. Because Calvin and Hobbes would fucking like Calvin. He would sit there and make a whole bunch of snowmen out in front of his house anytime it snowed, and they'd all be in like precarious, like fucked up situations. Like, oh, there's like a snowman that's blown in half, and he's got a soldier's helmet on at the head of it. He's like, oh, hey, look. Look at the sacrifice these soldiers have made. Like Calvin and Hobbes was screwed up, and that's what it reminded me of. It was like the kid looking out like, oh, there's a fucking snowman. Oh, it's Calvin and Hobbes fucking with you.
So
Right.
I got you.
No,
I got you.
The last thing I want to say about critiquing this movie is the whole things under the snow moving around.
Like graboids there.
Yeah, it made me think of Tremors a little bit, but really, I just kept thinking Bugs Bunny. Bugs Bunny's out to fucking get you. Like, gonna take a net, turn it in Albuquerque.
What's up, Doc?
Yeah, exactly.
Oh, fuck. Snow in Albuquerque. I will say, I got two things. Maybe one that deserves some hate. The other one I think was just a missed opportunity. The one thing that I think it deserves some hate is when the twins, the two girls, are just like walking around and I guess they're going for the bathroom or something, but they're going off separate in the house. I think that was stupid as hell. But that's like that's a horror movie tradition.
It
To
is.
have characters split off like that, they have to get got. And you know what?
Dude,
If a character's gonna be stupid, it might as well be the bully characters who are I kind of hated, but I would love to see them come around better. But
Look at character
have
art.
a nitpick. I do have a nitpick.
I see that nitpick.
So when the redneck father was being shot at by the gingerbread men with the what's it called, nail gun.
Yeah.
Nail guns don't operate like that. You have to.
All right, that's true.
It really bothered me. It really bothered me. Nail guns don't operate like that.
That's very true.
Maybe the redneck dude freaking rigged it to operate to shoot. I don't know.
I'll fucking nail this board in from back here. Bang! Exactly. He's got all zip tied and shit.
So my one thing that
Hit 2x4 from 50 yards.
the one
Anywho, got a scope on it.
The one thing I think was a big missed opportunity, because Krampus is known for taking children into his bag and taking them to the underworld. When the grandmother stays behind and they show Krampus showing up, one thing I'll talk about was Krampus's face, but also the bag. If the bag was just full of random monster toys, I really wish it would have been just like that. Was like it could have been just a spiraling oblivion, because that would have been really cool to see his bag being like an entry into the underworld, because that kind of fits on brand with Krampus.
It could have been more metal.
It would have been more metal, because otherwise it's just like, brah, toys, very scary. But you show something.
I thought that this movie needed like the tiniest bit amount of edge to it.
Yeah, I think it may have been.
Like it wasn't edgy enough.
It wasn't edgy enough to really be scary, and it fine, I think, but it's a missed opportunity. Just like it was a missed opportunity to have more going on with Krampus's face, because it was just this static mutant Santa look.
I mean, that's what I look like in real life. So,
Right.
Yeah, I don't want to see Dave in real life. Come on.
Right. Come on.
I would have loved to see a little bit more movement going on with that mask. I did like the goat eyes, but other than that, there wasn't really much more else going on with it, other than the weird tongue and the goat eyes.
And see, for like a horror movie, I feel like these are all small nitpicks.
Mm-hmm.
Like it was a fine PG-13 family romp.
Yeah.
Like as far as the family horror movie goes.
Yeah, it's a family horror movie. If you're coming into it thinking that you're going to be, pissing your pants or really at the edge of your seat, you might want to pick a different movie. But
right.
It
and
has
we can argue the same thing. I was going to say we can argue the same thing about Gremlins, if we expect it to be... you don't watch Gremlins to be scared,
No, it's a family scary movie.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Show it to your children. Much like Harry Potter is a family movie.
Yeah. Yeah. There's creepy elements to Harry Potter, but it's not like you're more for the adventure. You're more for the fun of it.
Right.
So
you're more
dumb.
there for the fun of it.
It's so... Well, I just want to say, guys, it's so dumb, but Harry Potter and the Chamber of Secrets video game, when you'd go through certain fucking halls, the fucking snake would whisper shit. Like, get out and shit like that. It used to scare the piss out of me. That was on a PlayStation 1. They couldn't afford the PS2 one because I didn't have one, but I don't know.
Right.
I think that this movie was, like, if I were to give it a rating from 1 to 10, it'd probably be like a 6.5. Like, it's not the greatest. It's not the worst. It's definitely not the worst. No. Like, it's got a lot of good things about it. It's a fun movie to watch. You could basically watch it. You could watch it every year and not really worry about it.
Yeah.
Never really tire of it.
I give it about 7 inches of snow and a nutcracker. Maybe two.
Nice.
Maybe 2 nutcrackers. I think that was
right.
I don't know. I can't really say I want to do a rating for it, but I
don't know how I feel about rating for it,
but I appreciate you telling me your rating.
I give it like 7 communist elf guys, and
you give it 2 nutcrackers?
Yeah, definitely 2 nutcrackers.
Well, I think we're in agreement there. 2 nutcrackers. No, this was
need some nuts with the crackers.
I liked this movie. I think it was fun. I think the Christmas horror is rarely delved into, other than maybe like Black Christmas, the remake to and Gremlins. But I think this is more in the vein of Gremlins, where it's not really this movie isn't meant to scare you. It's meant to be fun, and I do appreciate Krampus getting more recognition in the mainstream. They even tried to release this movie closer to Krampusnacht.
Yep, it is on December 4th, which Krampusnacht is the 5th.
5th, yep, and. I appreciate more love going to Krampus. I think he's an interesting character. I love pagan shit. I think if they were to make another movie of Krampus, which goddamn they have, it would be kind of cool to see maybe a more folk horror take to this of the modern.
Yeah, a little more raw, maybe a little more gory, or just horror.
Yeah. If they were willing to give it like really good writing and a budget, like I would love to see it get like a real solid folk horror translation instead of because the Suburbia thing worked. It was fun. It was funny. But if I were to see it today, that's what I'd love to see.
I'd like to see like the grandma's experience.
That would be pretty wild. I think that would be fun too. I think it'd be
and just amp it all up. Like amp up the gore, amp up the violence behind it, because that whole era back then was kind of violent.
Right, true
that. Just really send all of it. Show the girl getting teared up underneath the truck. Show the kid being viciously drug up the fucking chimney.
Yeah, because
Yeah.
this is a bloodless PG-13. If we were to see a rated R, it would be definitely a different movie. And
Right.
I hear you people out there who are saying, "Holy shit, we got enough Krampus movies out there already." All right, we got other options for folk horror and Christmas movie. We got
Yeah.
the Icelandic um, Christmas
Yuleman.
tradition. Yeah, the Yule lads, gorilla. I mean, you got that. That's you just asked Icelanders how they think about Christmas, dude. You got some nightmare fuel, that Icelandic mythology. I think that would be some really good potential for a movie.
Have you ever seen The Ritual?
I have seen The Ritual.
That one is that one is very Krampus-like, where it's got that sort of
that folk horror thing.
folk horror. Exactly,
Yeah.
exactly.
Oh my god, I love that movie so much. And
It's so good.
such
With
good-
the friends that like one of them has some deep-seated trauma and the other one's just like, okay, let's just do this.
Oh, it's
Yeah.
such a good movie. I'd love to talk about that more.
But
But
you guys are gonna have to like, subscribe, all of that jazz if you want that.
Right.
Yeah. Like, subscribe if you want to see all that, guys. Please do.
Yeah, real quick, I wanted to list the Krampus movies that I found on my SmartCast. So there's Krampus, and there's also Mother of Krampus. There's a Mother of Krampus 2.
Oh no.
There's something called Krampus Original. There's Sister Krampus.
I've heard Origin.
Oh yeah, I think it is Origins. I just my stupid fucking auto tech. Correct. You're right. It is Krampus Origins Original. God, I'm fucking retarded. So, Sister Krampus, Krampus the Return, Krampus Unleashed, I'm not done. Krampus the Reckoning, Krampus the Devil Returns, Krampus the Christmas Devil. There's a fucking 3-minute short. I didn't watch it because it was like $3 to rent it. It's called Cramped with a K.
Cramps?
Yeah, some kind of Krampus short. There's Bigfoot versus Krampus. There's also
I'm gonna watch that next.
Well, apparently there's also Krampus versus Bigfoot, and they came out at different times, so they're apparently a different movie. I'm
gonna watch them both simultaneously.
Well, there's one more you might want to put on that list because, of course, it goes without saying they also have Vikings versus Krampus.
The Vikings versus Krampus. Oh.
I don't even fucking know. So it is. You were right about Krampus making a comeback in modern culture.
Well, kids be on your best behavior. There's a lot of Krampus out there. All right, maybe Krampus is a little overdone. Maybe we'll get the Yulkerton. We'll get Gorilla. We'll get the Yule lads.
Right.
We have Door Sniffer out there. I don't know.
Yeah. But overall, this whole thing was it was good because it was a modern rendition of an old tale with a nice bit on Christmas, and it was surprisingly wholesome. I did not expect that. But obviously, there's a shadow over all of that. But I guess all I really have left to say is, don't lose hope, or let don't let hate set into your heart, or Krampus is gonna fucking get you. So
yeah.
So
don't do this thing don't enjoy Christmas out of the kindness of your heart. Do it because you're afraid of punishment. Because you're afraid that Krampus is going
Don't
to hurt
bully your cousins. You dick.
Yeah, don't shred up your list of Santa now.
Love your family. If you don't, you're an asshole, I guess. No, I'm just kidding. This is a fun movie. I liked it. Enjoy your Christmas with your families to the best of your ability, because it's the right thing to do. We all love our families in some way.
2 chestnuts on the fire. Approved.
Right.
2 chestnuts on the fire. All right, guys.
But with that, we wish you all a Merry Christmas.
Merry Christmas.
Hey, thanks for having me, you guys. I really appreciate it.
Yeah.
Always, bud. Good to have you.
Yeah.
All right.
Gut Nacht.
Good night.
That's my boy. That's my boy.
It sure is.